Remember the Mouse Droid in Star Wars that Chewbacca frightened? Welcome to Sisyphus Crane and Rigging. This is Mr. Bix. I've made a model of it in SolidWorks, and I want to put it in the Kineticon. There it is with the little doohickeys on top. I'm not sure what they do. And I've got this little chain, and I want to put it in a track and put a magnet on it, and that's the motivation system that I want to use to try to make the thing move inside the Kineticon. That's the magnet there. And the idea is to bury this below the floor and then put a magnet in the droid so it moves. This stuff is really tiny. There it is on the quarter, and the quarter is modeled full scale. The droid is less than 1/4 of an inch long. This is the track, the way it would sit in the Kineticon, and that's sort of a model of the top view of a model of the hallway, so that you could look in there and it would follow this path around and go out of sight, just like that little guy there in my crude animation. But you get the idea. And that track sits below the floor. It's based on the MagnoRail product that they have in model railroading. Take a look at the links below on some neat things that they've done with that. It's too big though. That's over 2 inches in diameter for the turnaround, and my whole track is only about that big. So I want to try to adapt this little tiny chain and see if I can make that work instead. That's how the track would look if it were raised above the floor, but of course it'll be below, and the floor is going to be really thin right there, thin enough that the magnet can couple and connect the little droid. To fit the scale of the Kineticon, it needs to be that small. And when I say that small, it is really tiny. The wheels on there, I don't think I can make them roll. They'll just have to slide along. The diameter of the wheel is 30 thousandths in that model, and that's the diameter of a pin, not the pin head, the actual pin itself. And the axles, if I made axles, would have to be the diameter of a human hair. Since it's rewarding for someone to find a detail like this, it should be even more so when they see the droid come through. The look I'm going for is to have a little detail that must be discovered by someone who's curious. On the first Kineticon, I recall young kids looking in, and they looked at all the little details. One kid had a flashlight, and he was looking at all the nooks and crannies and seeing things that no one else saw. Pretty awesome kid, I thought. That kind of appreciation is rewarding, and that's what I'm going for. So now I'm digging up all the details I can think of lying around in the corners of my mind and putting them in there for that little kid or the future ones to come. I like eclecticism in art. I'm going for some of that, and I don't know, call it polystylism maybe, which is usually applies to music, but also to art. I like cluttered antique stores, places like Dolcetti Gelato store at 9th and 9th in Salt Lake City. If you've ever been in there, you can see the guy who owns it is an artist, and he's big on the idea of just eclectic art made from stuff he finds. He builds tables with glass tops, and they're all full of all kinds of little knickknacks and oddments that he collects, and they're fascinating. My kids have always been fascinated by them, and you see people just staring at them as they lick their gelato in there. Anyway, that's going to do it for this video. Keep a lookout for the build process of this and see if I can pull it off. Till then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.